The opening scene features a stockbroker named Ryan Hinds, who wakes up inside an empty cell tied to a chair. He has no idea where he is or how he got there. He somehow manages to free himself from the restraints, but still remains trapped because the heavy metal door is locked. Ryan then looks out through a small glass window, but finds no signs of anyone nearby. A short while later, he receives a call from his friend Bruce, who pleads with him for help. Upon inquiring further about his predicament, Ryan learns that his friend is also captured in the same manner, but in a different cell. Bruce tells him that he's been kidnapped for ransom money. Ryan asks if he has any recollection from earlier, to which Bruce replies that he only remembers partying with Ryan and two women in a hotel room the previous night. Just then, Bruce starts screaming in pain, yelling that he is burning out. Before their call is cut off, Ryan hears a burning sound from the other end. It sounded like this. Amidst Bruce's scream, indicating that his friend was burnt to death. This terrifies Ryan, and he pleads to be let out. Moments later, a disguised voice over a speaker addresses Ryan, asking for his full attention. Presumably, it's the kidnapper. The voice offers Ryan his freedom in exchange for guessing the kidnapper's name correctly within 2 minutes. Is it John?
Shit. Yeah.
However, Ryan, who is frustrated, attempts to break the glass window using a chair. The voice claims that he is only wasting his time. Ryan then tries to think of the names of wealthy investors he met the day before. He tries hard and recalls the name of 3 of them, but all of them prove to be the wrong answers. As a result of this, his freedom is denied and the cell starts to heat up at 100 degrees. Ryan asks the kidnapper to switch it off, but he is completely ignored. He also tries to turn it off by himself, but to no avail. With no other choice, Ryan decides to comply with the kidnapper, agreeing to whatever he wants. Following this, the heaters are turned off for the time being, and some air is released through the fan. The voice then demands a ransom of $1 million within 2 hours, warning that the room's temperature will keep increasing every 5 minutes until the funds are transferred. Ryan tries to explain that he belongs to a middle-class family with a wife and a 7-year-old son, and that he does not have that much money. However, the voice does not care, and warns that failing to do so will result in burning him dry. Feeling utterly helpless, Ryan reaches out to his estranged brother John. Oh, his name's John. Actually can't believe that. He serves as a police sergeant. He confides in John about his dire situation. The latter is initially upset that he hasn't spoken to him in such a long time, but he agrees to help him. He instructs Ryan to keep his phone on so that his team can trace his location and mount a rescue operation. After hanging up the phone, the voice asks Ryan if he really thinks his brother can help him out through this. Ryan is shocked that the voice knows whom he called, but he opts to remain silent. A while later, Ryan tries to offer his precious watch worth $10,000, which was given to him by his father. However, the voice refuses to accept this and instead orders him to smash it on the floor. Desperate to raise the ransom money, Ryan contacts his wife Anna and asks her to transfer their entire savings to a specified account. She initially hesitates and asks several questions. "Honey, it sounds like they're gonna kill you anyway. Maybe I should just keep the money." But Ryan doesn't answer any of them, insisting that she simply do what he says. Following this, he calls his mother to request some money. However, his mother complains about Ryan never calling her unless there's something he needs from her. This enrages Ryan, who reminds her about the monthly checks he sends to her. After a brief discussion, he ultimately manages to convince her. Nevertheless, he remains short of the required amount and resorts to reaching out to friends and other relatives. After some time, Ryan receives a call from John, who tells him that he has arrived at the location with his SWAT team. This excites Ryan, so he shouts and pounds on the doors in an attempt to pinpoint his exact whereabouts. However, his relief is short-lived when John calls again to inform that they are at the wrong location, as Ryan's phone signal has been rerouted to a different place. John further informs him that they only found an abandoned warehouse with a note that reads, "I have them." In hopes of finding another alternative, John asks him to recall any details prior to his kidnapping, but Ryan, whose hope has shattered, ends the call, fearing for his family's safety. Ryan calls his wife, who appears to be scared. She claims that someone is outside their house and their son Larry is still at school. Ryan instructs her to stay hidden and call the police. Just then, the voice asserts that every wrong action has consequences, after which the room's sprinklers in the room activate, showering boiling water on him. In response, Ryan begs for forgiveness and promises that he will get the money, prompting the water to stop. Ryan then begins to call his wealthy investors and clients, using his persuasive tactics to encourage them to invest in various businesses. He guarantees them attractive returns and fabricates multiple stories to convince them to send him money. As the room's temperature continues to rise, he begins to lose his mind. At one point, he collapses to the ground and experiences a vision of himself dismantling the heater above him. A few moments later, Ryan's phone rings, snapping him out of his dream. It's John on the line, once again inquiring about the last thing he recalls before the incident. Ryan recounts checking out of the hotel after a night of partying, and as he got into his car, someone grabbed him from behind, rendering him unconscious. John then asks him to hold on as they are narrowing down his location, even though Ryan's story couldn't have possibly been any less helpful. After this, Ryan resumes reaching out to his clients, gradually collecting the funds. After multiple calls and numerous false assurances, Ryan successfully accumulates $1 million in his account. He promptly shows the money and asks the kidnapper's account number for the transfer. However, the kidnapper refuses to accept it, asserting that Ryan was supposed to transfer his own money, not someone else's. The kidnapper says that he is well aware of the $4 million that Ryan secretly set aside for himself. Now that he has cheated, he won't be allowed to get out of this place. Hearing this, Ryan apologizes and pleads for another chance. The voice agrees, but now Ryan will have to transfer all $4 million within 5 minutes. Ryan pleads for another way out, saying that the money is for his family's future. However, the kidnapper refuses to listen to him, and the increasing room temperature forces him to comply. He transfers all of his money to the specified account before passing out due to the heat. After a while, Ryan regains consciousness and notices that the room's temperature has dropped. He crawls toward the fan and sighs with relief. After taking a moment to recover, Ryan asks to be released as he has fulfilled all the kidnapper's demands. However, the voice refuses, saying that they still have unfinished business to discuss. Subsequently, a piece of paper slides through the door slot, which has a list of his family members' names. Ryan is instructed to read the names aloud and clarify their relationships. Complying with this, Ryan begins reading the names: Anna, Larry, John, Valerie, and Gray, who are his wife, son, brother, mother, and father, respectively. Just then, he pauses. When he comes to the name Leslie, the voice inquires about her, but Ryan remains silent. Shortly after, he receives a call from Anna, whose voice trembles with fear. Ryan asks about her whereabouts, and she describes a room resembling the one he's trapped in. This makes him realize that she, too, has been kidnapped. While talking, Anna hears the kidnapper's voice and questions his identity. The voice instructs her to pose the same question to her husband. The kidnapper then presses Ryan to unveil his true identity to Anna. He is reluctant at first, but the increasing heat forces him to comply. He then reveals that he has dozens of aliases to deceive people and persuade them to invest in various businesses for his own gain. He's this big of a worm and he only has $4 million? What a loser. The kidnapper also prompts him to disclose information about Leslie, but Ryan lacks the courage to do so. After this, the kidnapper directs Ryan's attention to a box in the corner of the room, urging him to open it. Inside, the latter discovers a severed human finger with a ring on it. At the same moment, he hears Leslie's voice and recognizes her instantly. She reveals that they abducted her and severed her finger. The kidnapper then initiates a conference call between Ryan, Anna, and Leslie, compelling him to reveal his secret to both women. Ryan finally admits that both of them are his wives. Moreover, he confesses that he only married Leslie for money and that he doesn't care about her. However, he claims to truly love Anna and their son. Despite this shocking revelation, Anna doesn't utter a word, probably because she's in shock, or because there are more twists coming and she's actually a broom. Moments later, John calls Ryan, notifying him that his team will arrive in 15 minutes. Regardless, Ryan responds that it no longer matters because everything is already over. Then, the kidnapper on the speaker orders Ryan to pull out a gun from the box and commit the unthinkable. If he does so, his wives will be released. Ryan bravely places the gun to his head and pulls the trigger, only to discover that it's unloaded. This breaks him down into tears, and the cell door finally opens. As he steps out, he is confronted by his brother, who turns out to be the kid. No way! The kidnapper's name was John, dude! It was a guess, guys. I just came as the first name name that came to mind. John then asks if he remembers the day when he asked Ryan for a loan. John further asks if he knows the reason behind asking for the loan. When Ryan answers in the negative, his brother discloses that it was for his son Adam, who was suffering from cancer. But Ryan refused to help without even asking for the purpose. Why didn't John just tell him that? Changing the topic, Ryan inquires about how John found out about the $4 million. In response, John reveals that he discovered his brother's double life when he was called to Leslie's house on a robbery, and that's where he saw their wedding photos on the wall. After hearing all of this, Ryan accuses him of killing Bruce and torturing his wives solely for his own gain. However, John denies being a murderer, revealing that they were all part of the plan. Moments later, Anna and Leslie walk onto the scene and accuse Ryan of deceit. Anna walks forward and asks him if he really meant it when he said he loves her, to which he responds, "With all of my heart." Consumed by jealousy, Leslie pulls her gun and shoots Anna to death. She then heads toward a laptop to transfer the money to her account, only to discover that the funds are gone. Furious, Leslie holds Ryan at gunpoint and demands an explanation. In response, he reveals that he had figured out their plan, so he feigned the fund transfer. Hearing this, Leslie is on the verge of shooting him, but John kills her before she can pull the trigger. With only the two of them remaining, John asks about how Ryan knew it. Ryan explains that Anna made the first mistake by stating that she's also going to be kidnapped, when he had never told her about his own abduction. Boy, that was sloppy. Next, when the voice asked him to destroy the watch, he suspected that it was John, because he was always jealous that their father gave it to him. At last, Ryan recognized that the severed finger did not belong to Leslie. Shocked, John asks how he knew the gun was unloaded. Ryan replies that this was the only thing he didn't know, and that he risked his life because he didn't want Anna to die. Are we supposed to sympathize for this bag of shit, or? In the aftermath of all these revelations, Ryan locks up John in the same cell alongside the other dead bodies and turns on the heater before walking away. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.